What's going on, BS show lovers and MMA fans around the world? We had an amazing night of fights last weekend at UFC 239, and the guy that I want to talk about is none other than Street Jesus Jorge Masvidal. Holy smokes. Talk about winning in style. Talk about going into the card as kind of an unknown and coming out now as, one of the most popular, famous UFC fighters. A week later, Jorge Masvidal. Not only did he give Ben Askren a three-piece and a soda, he also gave him a flying knee to the dome with the fastest knockout in UFC history. Amazing, amazing fight, and that's who I want to talk about. I want to talk about Jorge Masvidal calling out Conor, the notorious McGregor, and I would love to see that fight. I don't think there's a true fight fan in the world that wouldn't want to see that fight. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and it's not even a limb in my opinion, but there's so many Conor McGregor fanboys, and there's so many people who do not know who Jorge Masvidal is, that they would think Conor McGregor would just probably go in there and steamroll Masvidal, and I do not think that that is the case in any stretch of the imagination. Jorge Masvidal is a gamer. He started fighting in Dade County on the streets with none other than the GOAT Kimbo Slice from YouTube, and he is a fighter through and through. He says what he means what he says, and he even said if he's seen Ben Askren at Whole Foods, he was going to slap him around. So this dude is real. There's no fake to him. And if you look at this fight, Jorge Masvidal against Conor McGregor, one has to think that it's going to be at 170 pounds. I don't think that either guy wants to cut down to 155 because it is a tough weight cut for both of them. Both of them are really big 155ers. But I believe Jorge Masvidal is even bigger than Conor McGregor, and 170 pounds is where this fight would happen. Now, if you look at this fight stylistically, it's a great matchup. Conor McGregor, as well as Jorge Masvidal, they both like to stand. Neither one of them really initiate a takedown unless they absolutely have to, and they both have great boxing. The difference is Conor McGregor's got power in his left hand and can knock people out at 145 pounds. Jorge Masvidal can knock people out at 170 pounds, and he's knocking out dudes that walk around 180, 190. Darren Till is a big dude, and Jorge Masvidal knocked him out clean. Donald Cerrone is a big dude, and he hit him with a shot and put him down. Not only did he do that, he knocked out Ben Askren with a flying knee in 5 seconds. So Jorge Masvidal's power is just unrealistic, and it's against dudes that are big. It's not against little midgets like Conor McGregor is knocked out. And that's not taking anything away from Conor McGregor. It's just that I don't think his power translates at 170 pounds like Jorge Masvidal is. And if you also look at Jorge Masvidal, he has no weakness in his game. He's been around the block. He's a true veteran of the sport. It's not like Conor McGregor is going to outbox him. He's not going to take him down and out wrestle him. Conor McGregor isn't going to use his jiu-jitsu and put Jorge Masvidal on his back or submit him. This is going to be a stand-up fight. This is going to be a brawl, and this is going to be a lot of shit talking, and I believe Conor McGregor will be the underdog in this fight. So I hope this fight happens. Jorge Masvidal deserves a payday. Jorge Masvidal deserves a title shot. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. He's beaten the who's who in the MMA world. He's been around for over 10 years. He's fought his way up through the rankings. He's got some huge wins. So give this dude some credit. Give him his big payday. So if I were to pick this fight, I would obviously pick Jorge Masvidal. I just think that Jorge's power is just too much for McGregor, and not to mention McGregor's had problems with his gas tank, and that is not a concern with Jorge Masvidal. And I think Masvidal would be the bigger guy in this, so his power would just be too much for McGregor. And Jorge Masvidal's boxing is just so good. It's so sneaky. He's got so fast of hands. I just don't see this turning out well for Conor McGregor. But as we all know, in the MMA world, anything can happen. I'm sure if you ask Ben Askren about that flying knee, he would say that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So Conor McGregor could win this fight. I just don't see it happening. But let me know, guys, who you think would win this fight. Let me know who you would want to win this fight. And let me know if you even want to see this fight. This is a great fight for Conor McGregor to come back to, and this is the best time, and Jorge Masvidal has never been higher, in the UFC world, and he has never been brighter in the eyes of Dana White. So now is the time to make this happen. Thank you for tuning in, guys.